Hello, everybody. What's going on? Hi. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here to do your training this week and then also do a little coaching and Q&A if anybody needs anything answered or needs coaching on something. So I'm just going to grab my water, make sure you grab yours, and then we'll get started. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm psyched. Okay, so this is, oh God, every time I start these, I say the same thing because I am so psyched on every single module of this course. And if I could make this course like a year long, I probably would, because there's just so many, just thing after thing after thing. But trust me that I consolidated all of it into these 12 weeks. So what I was gonna say was that I'm so incredibly excited to share what I'm gonna share with you in this training today. It has completely changed my life. It's taken all the things that I wanted and put them into action in my life. So here's how we're gonna start. There are two things. Number one, hello to everybody who's just joining in. Hi Lisa, hi Jen. I'm so excited that you all are here. Remember that at any point you can drop a comment and let me know something you have a question on or need coaching around. At the end of this training, I'm going to take questions and do Q&A. So feel free to ask a question anytime so that it's there when it's time to answer them. What I wanted to say is there are two different things here. Number one is conceptually understanding something. You understand it, you've got it, you read the book, you've done the thing, you get the concept, it makes sense to you. Number two is embodying it. When you can combine the two, that's when change occurs, when quantum leaps happen. So when you can embody it is like also saying when you feel it. When you can feel it in your body, when you can feel it and you feel the change happening or you feel the thing happening, that's the difference. So over the course of my years of coaching, the one thing that I see frequently is when somebody comes to me and they're like, I know how to do this. Like, I understand this process, but it's just not working for me. That's just a simple case of you're not embodying it. You're not feeling it. You get it, you're book smart, you understand it, but you're not fully feeling it. And when you feel it, it changes something in your nervous system. And once your nervous system changes, it is locked in. So I'm gonna teach you a process, an exercise that I use, and I'm teaching you that today, for meshing the two and really feeling it. That is really, first we gotta understand it, we gotta know it, we gotta get the concept, and then second, we gotta feel it and embody it. So today, we're feeling it, we're embodying it. Who's excited? I am super pumped for this training. It's so good. Okay, so what I'm gonna have you do is, this is an exercise I use all the time, by the way. It is fantastic. Know that you can do this way more than once. What I'm gonna have you do is take an area of your life where it is easy for you to succeed. Something that you have done that just comes simple to you. This can be, do relationships come easy to you? Does love come easy to you? Does money come easy to you? Do things in your business come easy to you, come naturally? Is it really simple for you? Lifestyle, does that really come simple? And if for some reason you don't find one of those core areas, then you can break it down into like smaller divisions of that. Something like travel. Does travel come easy to you? Does manifesting free coffees come easy to you? Does manifesting parking spots come easy to you? Does like clothing come easily to you? Do you always manifest great clothes, or is it easy for you to put together a beautiful wardrobe? What comes super easily to you? Like, what is simple? What is it just like flows naturally. When you want it, it happens, it's there, it's done. I'll use the personal example of money for me, because out of all of the areas, that's the one that I'm constantly breaking through the most limiting beliefs and blocks about. I've up-leveled immensely in this over the last couple of years, and it's an area that I needed the most healing once I did healing in all the other areas of your life. So I'm going to give you my example with money. But you can choose, and I encourage you to choose the thing that comes easiest to you. And okay, sorry, clarification. I'm going to use my body as the thing that comes easiest to me, so that I can give you legitimate examples that you can apply to your own body. I want you to see how I think about my body. I want you to think about the way I look at it, so that you have personal examples. But I want you to do this for yourself first. I want you to write your own version of this first, and then I want you to take my examples and use them, utilize them to create and maybe just amplify your own. So I'm going to show you the example of body and health coming really easily to me, and then I will show you the contrast of wanting money specifically to come easier, and how I'm going to merge the two together. So first, pick your thing that comes super easy for you. For mine, it's going to be body. What is the thing for you? Pick your thing right now. Also, get out a journal. You're going to be writing a lot, and this is a involved exercise, but do not get discouraged. This is one of the most powerful, transformative exercises. When you're finished with it, you will be so glad you did. For me, it's like my personal, it's like my little pick me up. It's like the thing that I can always go to whenever I doubt myself, or I have a worry, or I'm not sure, or is it working, is it not working, whatever. I go straight to this and I read it, and I'm like, okay, I'm back to center. It will be one of your most valuable tools that you have from this course, and God, there are so many valuable tools. So that says a lot. So get out your journal, get out a pen. We're gonna do this. Choose your area that comes most easily to you. Is it relationship with your kids? Is it relationship with your husband? Is it relationship with your wife? Is it relationship with your friends? Is it, I'm trying to think of things I haven't listed already that it could possibly be. But pick that. It can be really specific, or it can be kind of broad. I'm picking money and body. Those things are pretty broad. So yeah, choose your thing. And then let's use body and health as the thing that you most want to shift. So Lisa, I see relationships. Perfect. And I saw that you sent a comment with questions, or a couple, so thank you. I will read that once we're done this training. Relationships is great. That's awesome. That's always the second one that I like to use, because body definitely comes simple. Relationships are a beautiful, easy thing too. And this is great that you said that, because that triggered in my mind that you can do this with different things. Like the more examples of this you can give yourself, the better. So feel free to use this with, like for me, I did this with my body, and then I'll do it with relationships. I'll do it, like, just apply it to all the areas. Like, you'll see why in a second. Okay. So this is called the faith exercise. And what I want you to write down first is, you want to write the sentence, okay, I'm going to flip this for you. Okay, so your successful thing. For me, I wrote down, because my easiest to come by is my body. When I want something with my body, like blank. So to tell you about this, and by the way, I'm going to get really personal with you. I'm going to talk about some body stuff in here. We're all close. We're all family. Whatever. We're gonna go all in. When I want something with my body, like, here are the examples that I wrote down. The first one I wrote was my period. So after having Jonathan, you know, obviously you don't get your period back right away. And for me, it was taking me longer than a lot of my girlfriends said it took them. And I was getting a little bit worried, and I was getting doubtful, and I had fear and I had worries popping up. So I was like, okay, this is a perfect example of this. So I wrote down my period, because one thing I wanted, when I want something with my body, like my period, then I'll tell you the other part in a second, but I wrote down period. The second one I wrote down was a yeast infection to go away. I kind of told this story before in this group, but I've had some really gnarly yeast infections in my life. And so something I wanted with my body was to get a very intense yeast infection to go away. Another one I gave what an example of was to not be bloated. When I want something with my body, like not being bloated. So sometimes I wake up in the morning and I feel bloated. And then one other I wrote down was flat stomach to come back. So when I want something with my body, like my flat stomach to come back. So that kind of goes hand in hand with the bloated thing, but it is its own thing. So I wrote it separately because I wanted to give myself multiple examples. So sometimes I wake up in the morning and because I'm feeling bloated, I'm like, okay, I want my flat stomach back. I don't want the bloat to be there anymore. And so you saw I gave multiple different examples here. Period. I wanted to get my period. I wanted to, how often do we say that, by the way? My sister-in-law was joking about that. I was like, guess what? I got my period. And she was like, yeah, said no one ever. Or no, I said, guess what? I'm so excited I got my period. She said, yeah, said no one ever. And I'm like, yeah, that's really funny. Wanted to get my period, wanted my yeast infection to go away, wanted to not be bloated, wanted my flat stomach to come back. So those were 4 different areas, and you can write as many as you want. But I wanted to give like a variety of things I wanted to get, things I wanted to go away. The next step, and let me read this. Jen says, loving and holding space for my clients comes super easily to me. Perfect. That is a really good one to use. I want the yeast thing to go away too. Good. This will give you some good insight into that. So with this, you've written down the things, the examples. So for Lisa, with your relationships, you're going to write down when I want something in my relationship like blank. Like maybe you want more connection. Maybe you want more cuddles. Maybe you want more hand holding. Maybe you want more, or maybe you want less dependency. Like I'm just putting things out there. You want to give as many examples of things you can think of that you've wanted to be differently in one way or another as possible. Jen, with loving and holding space for your clients, when I want something with my clients, like blank, like I want to see them thrive, or I want to see them happy, or I want to see them feel comfortable in the space that I'm holding. Give some examples and give a variety of examples there. Then the second step is to say, what do I do? So essentially how it's going to look is when I want something in my body like blank, 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 what do I do? And then you're going to write blank, 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 blank. So what are the things you do when you want that? And I go through each one individually. So to give you some personal examples, the first one I wrote down was to get my period. So what do? I expect it soon, even if I doubt it or worry. So I mentioned to you guys that, to you beautiful women, that I was going through the mindset and the feelings of like worry and doubt. And I was thinking, like, my friends got it sooner. Is there something wrong with me? Does that mean that my health is off or I'm out of balance? Like, our brains are crazy, right? We all know this. Like, we have monkey minds that just chitter chatter with all kinds of weird stuff. So, like, my brain was trying to create stories about this. Maybe something's wrong with me. Maybe I'm not healthy. Maybe I need to blah, 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 blah. And a few months prior to that, I had texted my midwife and just been like, hey, just want to make sure everything is, sounding good. I told her that I was still waiting to get my period and that this yeast infection had gotten really bad because I had one after the birth of Jonathan too, as well as many other times before that. So I told her both of these things are going on, and she said, you know what, just to be sure, maybe go get I think she said get an ultrasound just to have everything checked to make sure it's okay. And as soon as she said that, I got more freaked out, right? Like I was like, why didn't she just say everything's fine? Like, you're good. Like my monkey brain started chitter chattering again. So more fear, more worry came up. However, even with the doubt and the worry, I still had this feeling inside of myself that I expected it. I expected my body to heal itself. I expected it to go away. I expected it to be fine. I expected my period to come and happen because I trust the wisdom of my body. I trust the wisdom of nature. I know it's happening. I've seen backup of it happening. I've watched my body heal itself. I've watched my body change itself. I've watched all of these things that some people would consider miracles be very normal and very natural. I've seen my body do what it does best. Second thing I wrote down was, what would I do? I would look for inspiration or inspired action about it. So if I wanted to get my period, then I would open myself up to getting inspired action. I would be like, do I text my midwife? Do I, maybe somebody leaves a magazine next to me in a restaurant and I pick it up and I open it. Oh, there's an article on something that I've been wanting to know about getting your period after pregnancy or after birth. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's I get an inspired action to call somebody or text a friend about it or whatever. I'll be looking for inspiration on how to take steps forward on that. Next one I wrote down is I would let it go and give it time. So no matter how much worry or doubt I have about it, I would let it go and give it time. The thing that I was telling you the other day was that, in my mind with my body, it's not a worry anymore. It's it's taken care of kind of thing. I might have a quick thought of, I'm worried about it, I'm nervous about it, but it's immediately followed with, but it's taken care of. But it's coming. But it's gonna happen. I'm fine with it. I know it's coming. So take note to that right away. Is that how you view your body currently? That it's taken care of. Even if you have a doubt, even if you have a worry, it's taken care of. I would imagine probably not right now. So that's one area you can shift into. But I bet the area that you thrive in is an area where you would go, yeah, that it's taken care of. I got it. Jen, with your clients, feeling comfortable in a loving space. Even if you had a worry or a doubt or about something related to them, you'd still know it's taken care of. There might be action steps for me to take, there might be things for me to do, there might not be, but no matter what, regardless, it's taken care of. It will work itself out, it will happen. Lisa, you know this about the relationship. Whether I take action steps or not, it's taken care of. It'll flow, it'll work out, it's gonna be good. You know how it feels. So I'd let it go and I'd give it time. The next one I wrote down is, don't let it getting to a scary point worry me or make me not believe. So for the example, with the period, waiting for the period, and with the yeast infection, I've had them be super, super bad. And to the point where I would get scared. So I would have my thoughts and be okay, it's taken care of, let it go, whatever. But it kept, when something gets to a point where you're just that's getting really intense, or with the period, it was going on for so long that I was waiting so long that I got a little scared about it. I got a little worried. But when the thoughts came up and those scary points came up, I didn't let it make me not believe. Again, I had so much certainty. I was so sure. I was so grounded in belief and faith with my body that even if it got to a scary point, I was still just like, I'm just going to let it go and give it time. It's going to work itself out. Every time I was able to just be like, I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to give it time. It's going to work itself out. The next thing I wrote down was I don't overanalyze it. So there's no like obsessively like worrying and thinking and whatever about how the period's going to get fixed or how the period's going to start up again or how the yeast infection's going to go away. Even with like not being bloated or getting my flat stomach to come back, there's no over-analyzing it. There's definitely thoughts and feelings of I want it to shift, I want it to change, but I'm not like over the top, right? Like I'm just like, it'll happen, and think about the thing that comes really easy to you. It's not something that you're over-analyzing. You're thinking about it, you can put thought into it, but it's not over-analyzing. Next one is I take action or inspired action I get. Like for the yeast infection, I know that garlic is amazing to kill off yeast. So if I got inspired action to drink some garlic or like I mentioned in a video before, I texted my midwife and she said you can actually do this garlic tampon thing, which sounds way more intense than it actually is. It's really not bad. It's like using a tampon. So I got inspired action for that. And I was like, okay, I'll take action on that. So it's all about like when the action or the inspiration comes, I actually move forward on that. The next one was keep going, even if it doesn't look like it's working, knowing that it is. So even if it looks like it's not working, with the period, there was no sign that a period was coming. Every once in a while I'd get cramps and then nothing would happen. There were many times it didn't look like it was working with the yeast infection. There was a lot of times where every day I was like, okay, it's not getting better. But I'd continue on. I'd keep going, even if it didn't look like it was working, knowing that it is. Like I just had certainty that like, it's going to be taken care of. Like it's going to work itself out. I trust the wisdom of my body. I trust the wisdom of nature. I know how bodies are made to heal themselves. I know how my body heals itself. I know what happens. I know this process. I know how it works. Like I know how this works with weight loss. It's not any different with healing a yeast infection or getting my period. Like it's all interlinked. Like it's working. I just know it is. So even if it doesn't look like it is, I just know it is. I set the intention of what I want. So I put out there, what do I want? I want to get my period. I want the yeast infection to go away. I want the bloating to go away. I want my stomach to be flat again. Put the intention out there. I have clarity on knowing what I want. The next one would be talking to my body. So I always talk to my body about it. Hey, here's what I want to happen. Hey body, I would love if you could work with me and just, use the wisdom of nature and let's heal this yeast infection and let's let it be quick and easy process. Let's, bring the period back. Let's get this bloating to go away. Like I talk to my body and I talk to it like I love it. And next thing I wrote down is no, it's temporary. So the example of like bloating, if I wake up with bloating, I always know it's temporary, right? I'm like, this isn't forever. This isn't like constant bloating that's always going to be there, which side note, I did have constant bloating for a lot of my life, but in a place of certainty and knowingness and trusting my body and, doing the inner work with my body, I've gotten to a place where I know it's just temporary. It's only a temporary thing. It's going to go away. I remove the pressure. If I wake up bloated, I remove the pressure. Like I might be like, oh shoot, like I really would like that bloating to go away today. But I'm not like, if this bloating doesn't go away, then something is wrong and I have to give up and it's not working and like I'm fucked. No, that's not the thoughts I have. I'm just like, let's take off the pressure. Like the bloating will go away. It's going to take care of itself. I trust my body. Like it's done. Again, I wrote take inspired action. You've seen I've written this multiple times when I was talking about different areas. If I wake up bloated, I might do something like take activated charcoal. Maybe that's the action I get. Maybe I put this like Digi's essential oil on my stomach, which helps with bloating and inflammation. Maybe I'll put that on my stomach. So I might get inspired to do one of those things, and if I do, I'll do it. But I'll take the inspired action, but normally I'm not worried about knowing that it will take, we'll reread that. Take inspired action, but normally I'm not worried knowing it will take care of itself. Just know it's going to take care of itself. Even if I don't do the things, it's going to take care of itself. If I do the things, awesome, extra, it might happen a little quicker. That's great. Next thing, expect it to happen naturally. So if I wake up and I notice I've bloated and I want flat stomach to come back, I'm expecting it to happen naturally. Now, really take that one in. Like, how different does that potentially sound from what you're currently thinking about your body? I know it's completely different from the me 6 years ago. I would have never had those thoughts. This is how I correlate it now. Like, I literally expect it to just happen naturally. Like, my stomach will go back to being flat. My bloating will go down. I trust my body. I'm going to keep repeating this. I trust the wisdom of my body. I trust the wisdom of nature. I know it's taken care of. I know it's going to take care of itself. Next one, relax. If I want my stomach to go back to being flat, I just relax. I'm not that worried about it. Like, it's going to happen. It's going to go back to normal. I just relax about it. There's no pressure. The last two. I know this is a lot. I just wanted to give you guys all of this because I know that each one of these things will resonate with someone. So, and I think one of the most valuable things you can ever do is get inside the mind of somebody who has the result of what you want and figure out, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? What are they knowing that I don't know? Or how are they looking at this differently than I'm looking at it? So I really want to go in depth and give you guys like a piece of my mind on this one. I think that could be the most valuable thing I do for you. So next one is, okay, so in terms of numbers, I wanted to specifically write a number down because I know a lot of you have a specific number on the scale that you would like to reach. So I'll set a desire like, I want to be 140 pounds by March, but I'm more attached to feeling good first. Then, once I'm feeling good, and I really want you guys to take note of this one. Then when I'm feeling good, I take action to hit a goal number, but I do not look at the scale daily. How different is this from how you're operating currently? I set the desire of the number that I want to reach, but I'm more attached to feeling good first. So first, before I'm like, I gotta hit 140 by March, I am thinking about feeling good. So the indicators that I'm looking for first is, how do I feel? How's my energy? How do I feel in my body? Do I feel good in my body? Yeah, I feel really good in my body. Do I feel energized today? Yeah, I feel really energized. Do I feel confident? Do I feel like I'm moving forward without looking at a scale, without looking at a measuring device? Do I feel like I'm moving forward? Yeah, I do. That's the first indicator for me. Like, I don't give a fuck about the scale. Like, I do not care what the scale tells me. I have nothing to do with looking at a scale to give me progress notes. What I want first is to know that I'm feeling good. Do I feel good? Yes. Okay, great. Now that I know that I feel good, what's some action that I can take to get to that number? Okay, well, I could go to the gym. I could do certain exercises that I know burn fat faster. Cool, I could take that inspired action, but it's always gonna be something that I know is fun, that I want to do, that I enjoy doing. Do I want to eat differently? Do I want to eat more nourishing food more frequently? Okay, cool. I can take action on those things now that I already feel good. But again, I'm not measuring it by the scale. I can do these things to hit a goal number, but I'm not using a measuring device. This is like where I come from if I want to reach a new goal. Or maybe I want to like tone my abs more, right? Okay, here's one. Right now, I'm definitely lifting and toning my booty. That is one that I am so focused on. And I'm not using any kind of measuring device. I'm not looking at my butt every single day in the mirror going like, oh my God, is it lifted and toned? I'd be lying if I said that I don't see it in like a photo or the mirror or something and notice my butt. But I'm not literally like, oh my God, okay, let me look at my butt. Is it a little bit higher? Is it a little bit more toned? Whatever. You can look at it. It's fine, whatever. But I'm not measuring it day by day by day. That doesn't serve me. Some people that might serve, but that does not serve me. So what I'm doing is I'm just knowing where I'm going. I know exactly what I want my booty to look like. I'm making sure I feel good first. Then once I feel good, I'm taking the action. Okay, I'm doing specific workout moves to lift and tone my booty. And then that's it. And that's it. And then I reach the goal. There's no pressure. There's no stress. It's very different. It's very different than what it used to be for me. And then the final thing is do nice things for my body. Move and nourish it. So those are the things. So that's part one. It's going to take you a little while. It's going to be super worth it. So first you're going to write down the thing that you want, thing that you're really good at. For me, it was my body. I write down the specific areas that I might want to shift. What do I do when I want to shift them? Write down that whole list that I just went through with you. Then, what do I do? What do I actually do when that comes up? So I told you I use the scenario of body and money. So with money, when I want something, what do I actually do if I want it and it's not showing up? And I won't even read you the list. It's just for clearing and it's not worth breathing life into. But let me just tell you that when I look at money, like I look at wanting something with money the same way I'm looking at it with my body, there's a lot more worry. There's a lot more doubt. There's a lot more stress if it's not showing up in the same amount of time. With my body, if it's not showing up in the amount of time I expected, I'm really not that worried. I still know it's coming. With money, there's a lot more of that, oh my God, like, is it not working? Will it not work for me? Is it not going to work? Like, you know, the kind of stuff that you all bring up to me about body and the things that I've thought about my body before. So I understand you. There's a lot less certainty, there's a lot less faith, and there's a lot more doubt. So you want to write those doubtful things down. Just get them out of the way, get them out of your head. And then the final part of this is, what would I do if I looked at, so for me in this experience, what would I do if I looked at money like I look at my body? So I literally went through the exact list of what do I do with my body, and I applied it to money. So, and I went through each one that I went through with you, and I flipped it for money. So, don't let it get to a scary point. Don't let money getting to a scary point worry me or make me not believe that it's coming. Just like with my period or with the yeast infection. If it didn't look like it was coming and it got to a scary point, I would not let getting to a scary point make me believe that it's not coming. Let's go I'll go in order. If I was looking for a certain amount, expecting that amount of money soon, even if I doubted it or worried it, just like with my period. Expect my period to come soon, even if I doubted or worried. Second one, be open to inspired action or inspiration to bring in that money. Just like with my period or with the yeast infection. I don't need it, but I'm open to it. Like, I will take the inspired action. I'll look for inspiration. I'll let that stuff come to me. Yeah, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll be looking for inspired action, ways to bring in the money, just like I would be looking for inspired action to heal the yeast infection or bring in the period. If I wanted a certain amount of money, I would let it go and I'd give it time, just like my period. Let it go, give it time. I trust the wisdom of my body. I trust the wisdom of nature. It's coming. So you get the point and go through every single one of those. It'll take a little bit of time, but it'll be extremely worth it. And that list right there, that last one, is everything. That is a beautiful list. You're gonna start to make that shift from consciously understanding the topics that we talked about to fully embodying them. And it just translating into your nervous system and becoming a part of you. Just by writing that list, you will feel different from writing the list. It's a very powerful, very beautiful experience. So do that. I want to hear what comes up for you. I want you to write about it. I want you to tell us about it. What comes up? How do you feel different? Because when I finished doing that, I felt completely different about money. I was like, oh, okay, I trust it now. I understand it. I'll just translate it from the thing that works for me into the thing that has been the biggest challenge of all the areas of my life. Just apply that, and then boom, it makes a huge shift. You'll start to see shifts right away from this. Very, very, very powerful. Let's read some comments. Okay. Lisa Rose. I'm hitting some bumps with really believing the more I relax about my body changing, the sooner it will. Intuitively, it makes sense, but my mind wants to know, what else can I do? Okay, this is so appropriate that this exercise came up today, because that's exactly what you can do. Like, this exercise is going to show you basically what you would do with your relationship, something that works really easily for you. Just translate that to your body. So if you're having a hard time relaxing into it, do what you would do with relationships. And you'll be able to really have clarity on exactly that with what you write down. You said to make it happen faster. Yeah, exactly. This will bring it faster. Underneath is some doubt that it won't happen. So I want proof and evidence, like, how about now? Yeah, so same exact thing. This exercise is going to do that for you. It's going to just remind you that do what you do with relationships. Just apply the same thing to this. Eating really good food comes easily. Finding great houses. Creating a beautiful sanctuary. Relationships. Oh, you said multiple things. Cool. Lisa says, I would let it go and give it time. This is hard for me with something I really want. So Lisa, is this hard for you with relationships to let it go and give it time? Or is it just hard for you with like body and things like that? Jen says, I still have momentary doubt here and there, but you're right. I know it will all work out. Yeah, exactly. So like, it's not about removing doubt and fear completely. It's just about when it comes up, you relax into the certainty of you know it's going to work out. And the things in your life that you are very successful in, you know it's going to work out. You just have that. And there's no difference from your body. It's just the programming and the conditioning that you have on top of your soul. Your soul knows that you can have balance and you can have it work in every area of your life. And you can apply the same concept to everything. There's just more doubt in other areas. So you're just going to take something that you know really well and apply this. That's where it's easy to refer to the times my body hasn't changed rather than have faith of knowing it will. Yeah, for sure. But how would you apply this to your relationship? Yeah. Often the more I want something, a big goal, the harder it can be to just relax about timing and outcome. So, let me reread that. The more I want something, the harder it can be to just relax about timing and outcome. So, Lisa, does that apply to your relationships or does that only apply to your body? Anytime there's something I really want, so I want it now, doubt and impatience shows up. Yeah, let me know if that's all things or just relationship things. Not relationship things, sorry, body things. Just rereading some things. Not all things, okay. So, the things that it is not, you want to apply to the things that it is. Take whatever it is, but more than just body. Okay, that's perfect, that's fine. So you can use this to do multiple things, but let's use body for the sake of this is the Body Built by Love course. Take your areas where it works take your areas where you don't have the doubt and impatience of wanting it now, and start applying it, because I can guarantee you will be way more successful in all of the areas that you have that doubt and that impatience and the worry and the uncertainty. All of those could use an infusion of the same mentality of the things that you do successfully. I can see how the process you gave here would help remind me of feeling confident that things work out. Yeah, exactly. So that is what I would suggest, Lisa. All the questions you asked today, this exercise will make a shift. So go through the exercise. You'll notice and you'll see things really differently. You're gonna feel it differently. It's gonna be amazing. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Thanks for amazing questions. I cannot wait to hear how this exercise goes for everyone. This is a very, very, very powerful tool, and I am super stoked. I am super stoked to share it with you and to watch your body and your life change because of it. So I'm always holding you to your highest. Put you guys in my thoughts and my intentions every morning, seeing you reaching your goals, seeing you feeling amazing, seeing you at your best and your highest. Sending you so much love. You can do this. I got your back. You got this. Remember, anything is possible. So you're welcome. Love you. Mwah.